Good evening, folks. It's Duane with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, January 28th, 7 p.m. Mountain Time 2019. As blizzard Duane moves east, pummeling Michigan over into the northeast, record low temperatures dropping in below the Midwest of the United States, generational lows, all-time lows, extreme infrastructure failure lows. Keep calm. It's boom time. The mainstream narrative continues with their nonsense. This coming out today from Live Science. Yesterday we reported on the same paper, and the headline was, "Retreating ice exposes Arctic landscape unseen for 40,000 years. Well, today, 12 hours later, retreating ice exposes Arctic landscape unseen for 120,000 years. Same paper. For those of you that are just joining us, what you're looking at is the Holocene warming. The current temperature is over here to the right. This is today. And I want to draw your attention back to 12,900 years ago. Yes. This warming here, a hypothetical 20-degree Fahrenheit warming, occurred in around a century. And they're saying that our 1-degree rise over the last 180 years is greater than ever before in the last 100,000 years. So there are actually two 20-degree plus warming events. The Bowling-Allerod warming, the Younger Dryas cold event, freezing the planet, and then another warming around 11,500 years ago. Now this warming was another 23-degree Fahrenheit, 12 degrees centigrade. And this little spike is global warming right here. See this spike? This spike is the most warming ever in the last 120,000 years. According to the mainstream. That's what they might as well be Paul Begley. Now let's bring it out a little bit. We just looked at the Holocene. Let's look at the last 100,000 years. Because they're claiming that the warming, the 1-degree, 2-degree warming we've seen in 180 years is greater than any other time in the last 140,000. All of these temperature fluctuations, up and down, 20 degrees. One here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. There are 100 temperature flips prior to the Holocene, which eclipse any of the warming that has happened today in this little region here over to the right. There are no journalists. Journalism is dead. No one cares about what they're writing as long as it's salacious and you read it, because the advertisers want you to see their ads. They don't want you to know about the facts. And the facts are that the Holocene, the last 8,000 years, there has barely been a temperature fluctuation like there has been in the last 100,000 years. Regularly 20-degree shifts. And if the Earth is warming, why is it so cold out? Well, the Earth stopped warming back in 2016. And the temperature globally has dropped off almost 0.7 degrees centigrade. 0.7. Over 0.6 degrees. The global lower atmosphere has dropped in the last 3 years. And this is going to continue to drop, as we predict. Polar vortex to seize Midwest with the coldest weather in a generation. In Wisconsin, Governor Tony Evers declared a state of emergency and asked the National Guard to be ready. Chi-Town, the polar vortex is back, and the forecasts are dire. A quick punch of snow followed almost immediately by life-threatening cold, colder than in a generation and the Midwesterners have ever experienced. Already on Monday, the misery was on full display in Chicago, where overnight snow covered the streets and snarled the commute to work. Cars spun their tires. By midday, more than 1,400 flights across the country have been canceled. We're getting a lot of snow in a very little time. And now they're about to freeze. Heads up, if you live in these regions, stockpiling on water, food, ways to keep yourself warm. All good ideas. Maybe get a handgun. People robbed of Canada Goose coats at gunpoint in Chi-Town. They're not only taking your wallet, they're taking your jacket. If you got a triple fat goose on, stay in your car. Chicago police are reporting gunpoint robberies targeting people wearing pricey Canada Goose jackets, more like warm Canada Goose jackets, as temperatures plunge in the city. They're claiming that these are being stolen because of their value. People are being robbed of Canada Goose coats at gunpoint because people are freezing. In case you didn't get the memo. Expect snow, extreme cold, and wind chills. Local schools and other closures. Wind chill warning in Michigan. For those who wondered if it can get any colder, there's a short answer. Yep! Now, luckily, Al's in his hole, and that's below frost line, so he's at a constant 54. Isn't that right, Al? Bitterly cold wind chills are expected next week as the cold stretch of sub-zero temperatures continues its icy grip. Several inches of snow may join the mix Monday. You see a strip of 4 to 6 down south of Hinckley and Siren here. Will extreme cold prompt Governor Walz to close schools nationwide? Well, that's impossible because he's only capable of closing them statewide. Schools also have their own cold day criteria if he doesn't. If it doesn't happen, but when temperatures and weather go to extremes, we're about to see the governor of Minnesota can step in and shut down schools across the state. Former Governor Arnie Carlson did it in 94, 96, and 97, right before global warming kicked off. So, while it's getting really hot out, they'll be closing schools for all that heat. Extreme cold will follow Blizzard Duane. Wind chills could reach 60 below. We have 30 weather announcements. Click above. Winter weather advisory, wind chill warning. You read it. Another winter storm moved into the region Sunday with heavy snow and blizzard conditions, cutting a wide path across much of eastern North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota. And on the storm's heels will be a stretch of bitter cold not seen in the area in more than a dozen years. The National Weather Service has issued blizzard warnings starting 3 p.m. Sunday and lasting to 6 a.m. Monday. Those have been canceled. Heavy snow between 6 to 8 inches was forecast for an area southwest of Grand Forks, including Mayville, North Dakota, Cooperstown, 4 to 6 inches for Grand Forks. But that's the least of their worries. At 60-degree wind chills. Extreme cold to hit central Ohio this week as well. Wind chills between 25 and 35 below zero. There's your Wednesday, 8 a.m. Fort Wayne, Indiana, minus 42. Toledo, minus 42. Cleveland, minus 36. Bundle up. Winter's coming. Snow forecast, Monday through Friday. Heavy snows up in BC. Northern Washington's the winner. The rest of you in the upper Midwest around the lakes, heads up. More snow coming into the Northeast. New Hampshire, heavy snows. Vermont, upstate New York, all the way down to the Catskills and into Pennsylvania. Let's check the models. Here we are. And that's through your work week. The GFS snow totals through Friday. showing most of the snow falling through the system moving east right now. Here's your Tuesday, Wednesday. Friday. Saturday, a storm starts moving in the west and buries us out here. Almost all the western states, all the way down to Tucson, picking up more snow, all the way into Mexico, all the way down south in New Mexico. And the GFS models are showing high confidence on this southern storm starting Monday night, all the way down to Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Atlanta, Georgia, even picking up some snow. Say it ain't snow, but it is. Many people calling me from Florida about the iguana apocalypse. It hasn't gotten out of the 50s in South Florida today. If you can believe that. Can you believe it? Boom! We have an early report tonight because we're headed up the road again this evening, and I was about to shout out some awesome people, but I lost the card. I'm looking for that right now. We'll get to more shout outs, and I will get to those awesome people. Yeah, before we go any further, I'd like to send a big shout out to Robert the Bruce Stangler in Holland, Minnesota, who sent me out some awesome long grain Minnesota wild rice for planting here at the ranch. Also, Miss Marianne Hooper, her fertility doll and words of wisdom, we appreciate them. Thank you. Boom! Very dangerous, life-threatening Arctic air mass expected this week. Back-to-back cold fronts will slice through the eastern two-thirds of the country to deliver one of the coldest Arctic air intrusions in anyone's memory, especially from the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley. From Tuesday through Thursday, expect frigid temperatures and bitterly cold winds as blizzard Duane finishes up the East Coast, likely heading to widespread record lows, low maximum temperatures. Winter storm warnings and watches all the way down through central Louisiana. Heads up, central Mississippi. You're buried. Central Alabama. You're scared. You're in your pants. And a little tip of the tippy touch. Northern Georgia, you're going to get it. There you go. Up in your New England. Same pattern. You're going to slowly get buried through March. Freezing cold warnings in a dozen states up in this area. Slate gray much? I hope you're prepared. I hope you bundle up. Significant snow, extreme cold in the forecast for Ontario. 15 to 20 centimeters from Stratford all the way to Belleville. Some Ontarians believe are beginning to feel the effects of global warming thanks to Al Gore and his Ponzi scheme that was set to move into the province on Monday. Environment Canada has issued storm warnings for much of the province. Anywhere between 5 to 25 centimeters is expected to bury you. The snow paired with high winds and extreme cold will make driving conditions extremely dangerous. Maximum wind gusts of 56, 63 kilometers per hour in Waterloo have been recorded. Many of the major airports, including Pearson, Hamilton, London, were experiencing cancellations or delays. The cities of Kitchener, Cambridge, and Waterloo snow events have been declared, which means there is no parking. And we're not even snarking. Wind gusts of 50 kilometers are expected to blow the snow, making it for blizzard conditions in your Canada. And it will be cold with frostbite, inducing wind chills in the minus 20 to minus 30 region. Almost unthinkable. They've done it when you weren't watching. If it ever loads, we'll get to it. It's very important. Okay. Clearly they don't want us to see that. We're going to get to some good stuff if it loads. Bear with us. Give us a few minutes of leniency. New Brunswick schools move summer break to the middle of winter. Sounds awesome. This is going to be a rollout maybe for all of Canada, but this is one of the coldest regions in the area. They're losing so many days of school because of all that global warming goodness up in New Brunswick, burying the school buses up to their windshields. The Minister of Education, Dominic Carty, made the announcement early today. The 2-month summer break, usually from July to August, will be moved to January and February, where the kids will be able to shovel the driveway and make snow tunnels in the backyard. Boom! Summer break coming to a winter near you. Seismic update, no quakes of note. Looking good. All quiet on the western front and the eastern front and the northern front and the southern front. But you knew that because you've been psychic for 21 fucking hours. KP at 0, myocardial infarction. Many of your friends and family suffering from heart attacks today. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them. Many of you stronger types have increased psychic abilities due to a Freedom of Information Act release and the relentless work of several people. The CIA studied the impacts of space storms on psychic powers years ago, and that information has been released to the public. The report contends that decrease in geomagnetic activity, specifically KP0, causes either the occurrence or just the memory of an occurrence, it's unsure which, of increased telepathy, but only about death and other crises. Come check out the data. You're psychic, and you know it. And that's boom. I'll leave you links below. Worldwide volcano news update. Shivalush, Volcano Ducono, Reventador, Torrealba, Planchon Petaroa. Another eruption at Shivalush. There's the boom boom. Sabancaya, Nevados de Chilan, Planchon Petaroa. Reventador, last 24 hours erupting to 17,000 feet. Several volcanic ash advisories. No other significant eruptions. Reventador, 15,000 foot puff pass. Come check it out. Links below. Unexpected boost of methane. Al, are you gassy? Take a Beano. Permafrost is warming at a global scale. It's happening. It's happening with a video. Rapid changes in the long frozen soil are raising concerns about what's happening. Well, I'll tell you what's happening. There's a lag of temperature response to solar input, as well as in oceanic systems and land masses. So, the melting of the permafrost will soon come to an end. There is about a decadal lag between effects of temperature on Earth and their effects on the surface. And with our warming oceans, we're still seeing coastal effects from the past warming. It's been warming for over 100 years, folks. We're not arguing that. But the warming has ended. And the decadal lag of temperature response will end in 2026. Forever. Let's check out the ice at the North Pole in 1958 and 59. At the height of the, at the end of the winter ice build in March of 1959, the skate SSN 578 surfaced at the North Pole. Now, let's do some comparisons. What I just pulled up was the DMI ice thickness for today. And let's check out the North Pole. Whoa! They might have come up on 5 meters of ice had they come up. We're not even in March. So by March, this is going to be over all red. See this red area building in the center? That's going to be the new multi-decadal ice. The red is going to connect with the shore, and we're off to the glacial races, folks. Already in multi-decadal averages. Well above 20,000 cubic kilometers of ice volume, which is probably less than they had at the end of the winter in 1959, when this sub came up through a few feet of ice. Not even. It's like see-through. You could skate on it. What would the NSIDC say? Al! What do you say? Get in your hole. Let's block that. Flash tornado tears through Havana, killing 3 and injuring 172. Holy sh! Look at the garbage. They got a lot of cleaning up to do. The flash storm also brought flooding. They were bumming. Soon to be snowing in Cuba. To add insult to injury. Oh, have you heard the news? Microplastics have been discovered in key drinking water sources. Specifically, all limestone aquifers. That's delicious. Yeah, in North America and all around the world. Microplastic contamination in karst groundwater systems. Here's the paper coming out 5 days ago. Plastics present a serious worldwide environmental problem. This article provides evidence that microplastics are present in all karst groundwater. Average of 17 particles per liter. What this means is anyone's guess because we haven't even tested what the plastics are, what type of plastics are those particulates, what percentage are each particulate, and what the effects are on the human body. UV, I mean, we're being taxed for plant food, and there's plastic in all groundwater. 25% actually. Sorry. These tards. They love you. They really care about you. They're coming to help you if you're cold. So don't even worry. They're going to bring you a little warming blanket, solar warming blanket called the sun. They'll bring it right out to you. Guys, if you've been wondering about eschatology like I have, come check out the definition because we're about to dive deep into it. We have been diving deep, but you may not know that it's called eschatology. Eschatology is a word that arises from the Greek eschatos, meaning last, and logi, meaning the study of. So we're studying the study of the last. Yes, in part, theology concerns with the final events of history or the ultimate destiny of humanity. This concept is commonly referred to as the end of the world or end times, or the study of would be the study of eschatology. 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 Say it. Here are some eschatology notes from Samuel Waldron. Systematic theology is properly the fruit of 2 other theological disciplines. Well, let's just scroll forward and get to what we want to talk about. Down here. That's not the section. Well, let's reopen and get to the section we want. Shall we? So many of you follow Graham Carlson? Or, yes, Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson. I was mixing them. They are both eschatologists, but not theological eschatologists. Like, I'm not a theological eschatologist either because I don't have that sign on and I'm not standing in Times Square. But if you come down here to astronomy, the very final section in the wiki, you will see that occasionally the term physical eschatology is applied to the long-term predictions of astrophysicists like us. The sun will turn into a red giant in 6 billion years and blow up. Or it does it every 20,000 years, and that's just bad information. Life on Earth will become impossible due to a rise in temperature long before the planet is actually swallowed up by the sun, or it gets regularly swallowed up by the sun every great year, and we write Bibles about it. Yes, that's a boom. Get ready for the new Bible coming in a few decades. If you want to learn more about eschatology, keep following the channel and read all this esoteric information that I'm sharing you, which I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. That's quite a bit. Historical introductions are done. NASA probe snaps first photo just a mile above Bennu. And it's amazing for a number of reasons. There is this central electrical scar. And this baby is quite circular and new. It is my contention that this particular asteroid is very fresh from one of the more recent catastrophic events, has only minor electrical scarring from its minor trips that it's taken around and around and around. But here, in a few hundreds of thousands or millions of years, we would probably see a nice double barbell. Or in a different electrical environment, this valley would continue to erode until we have the double barbell. Still see the double barbell here. Here's the top piece, bottom piece, and hypothetical fusion plane, all of which is nonsense. OSIRIS-REx mission is orbiting the asteroid closer than any spacecraft have ever orbited a body. That's hot. And it shows an incredible pair. Look at that pair. The spacecraft slipped into orbit around Bennu on December 31st, and you're getting the first photos. First photos of Bennu. Bennu, boom! Holla! Links below. Gorgeous, awesome! Healing crystals and copper. If you've been looking for healing crystals and copper, chakra art and jewelry, and you haven't found Gorgeous Awesome yet, well, you found them now. Roxanne Otley, shop owner. Gotta be her. Who else would it be? She sent us out a classic large crystal chakra strand and several other killer gifts, which are totally off the chain. I can't even explain to you the craftsmanship in this product. Not only that, it actually has the power to make you want to be near it. So if you're looking for some cool, if you like crystals, crystal healing, if you're into chakras, meditation, you're just dabbling, I would suggest that you look into purchasing one of these babies. They're amazingly hand-peened copper. They come with this awesome little crystal chakra strand chart, so you know where all your little crystals match up to which chakras on your body. And the artistry and the craftsmanship, I don't even know where to go. I can't even explain it. It is some of the most impeccable art that I've ever seen. They got a lot of stuff here. They even sell large, clear Brazilian, look at the 6-inch point, 50 bucks. So if you're into crystal work, art, meditation, here's a nice amphibole quartz, Angel Phantom, 33 bucks. If you collect rocks, if you want to do it from friends of the channel, some people that will be at LeakCon, sharing their amazing products, check out Gorgeous Awesome on Etsy. They have 300 people favorited them and 73 5-star ratings. I don't know where you can get that in the world today, but you can at Gorgeous Awesome, healing crystals and copper. Do it. Those of you getting into beekeeping and you're new, now's the time to buy bee packages. If you don't buy them by the end of the month or mid-February, they'll be sold out. Beekeeping is a huge hobby these days. Bees are in limited supply. If you dawdle until springtime, all of the bees in the United States will be sold out. So I implore you to get your orders in now. Just search Google for your local area, bee club, where to buy bee packages, they're called, and get your bee packages now. I want to share Rocky Mountain Bee Supply because we're going to be getting 4 packages from them this year. 2 coming at the end of April and 2 coming in May. Because it's cold here. But that's where we're getting our bees, from Rocky Mountain Bee Supply. So if you're in the Rocky Mountains and you want to know about Rocky Mountain Bee Supply, as soon as I purchased the package, the owner emailed me and thanked me for my purchase. So obviously a great customer service company here. Check out the store. They also have education. They do tons of workshops all the time on all topics. So if you're in the Rocky Mountain area and you're into bee workshops, they have a ton of training. Absolutely a shit ton, which is 1/5 of a fuck ton. Now I just put up Southern Colorado winter greenhouse, snow, pocket gophers, and fodder and fun. There can't only be 120 views. That means people don't even like it. It's been up for hours. Let's refresh this. We got to be doing better than that. 1,100 views. Boom. Only 2 Al Gores. Only 2 Al Gores. 200 up, 2 down. That's a 1% of people that don't like us. That's pretty good. 99% of all people like us. That's a boom. Check out the video. I'll leave you the link. Now, space weather warning from the fearmonger rag, the Express. All hell will break loose when solar flare cripples the Earth. They must be watching our channel. Thank you, Express. I bet the word got out. A solar flare striking the Earth will destroy satellites. It will cripple power stations. And all hell will break loose. This is just a fact. We've been talking about this since the beginning. Now, what we're likely to see is minor versions of that fearmonger dialogue. That story is not likely to happen initially. What is likely to happen is that as the magnetosphere wanes, minor solar flares are going to blow out small portions of the grid, and people are going to start to catch on. They're going to start to catch on to what's happening. They're going to make the connection that the grid is failing and the sun is responsible. They also might catch on that the sun is responsible for quite a few other things on Earth and not just the grid. But once the grid fails, there will be no more YouTube, no more Google. And if you don't have the books to know what you want to know, guess what? You'll never know. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Be prepared, not scared. Start collecting old, important texts, textbooks on information that you think you might need to know in an off-grid situation where there will be no more grid ever. Buy a set of encyclopedias. My library has book sales. They're all 10 cents. We go like once a month. Stocking up. We have a full library. Books are cheap everywhere. No one reads. They want to burn them. They don't want these books. You want those books. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. And books will they will cover your arse. Get books on permaculture, gardening, local wild edibles, how to wildcraft, how to build a smokehouse. There are many, many books. All books on survival. Keep your eyes out. Be safe. We love you.